So, if you are an home studio person, if you have an home studio or you record at home like I do, a few times if you come across some gears that just changes the game, and they're inexpensive, but the amount of value that they add to your workflow and the amount of ease they add to your workflow, it's impeccable. And I just want to share 7 of those amazing things that I own in my own home studio that have made working easier and a bliss for me. They're inexpensive, they are least thought of, but they can actually make you recording at home a little bit better. And let me go over the few things that I've discovered over the last couple of years. Number 1, it's a card reader. Now, it might look weird and simple, but this thing has saved me a whole lot of times. Either I want to copy, content from my camera to my computer, or just from a memory card, or I have a file that I want to transfer, take it over somewhere, and I don't have a flash drive, but then I have a memory card laying around. This has been extremely helpful, and one of the reasons why I like this one is because it's backward compatible with basic USB, USB B, and then USB C, USB A. I think this is USB A, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been so long now. It has the USB C and the USB A on the other end. Now, this is extremely easy. I have a laptop that does not have this old USB, but I still have a Mac Mini that still has the old USB. So it's kind of easy to switch between computers with this. You just plug in one end and the other end. It might not seem much, but this can save you a lot of time in your home studio. So this is number 1. Number 2, iRig. This technology has been around for a while. I actually started recording guitar with one of these guys into my computer. I think I still have it here. Yeah, this is the HD2. I've had this for, I don't know how long, almost 8 years now. This is the OG one. It still has the micro USB in front of it. I will use this as an audio interface when I'm on the go, or even sometimes at home, and plug my guitar in here, and I'm ready to record. And it came with a whole bunch of, free softwares back then. And I mean, I should do a video on how I came onto media stuff sound now, but this is a useful tool, and it can actually help you in your home studio recording vibe. It could be a good backup audio interface for you, or it could just be a good content creation stuff, just to get video onto your cell phone. I use the Stream because it's better, it's stereo, and there's really no big or huge advantage over this, only the fact that this has a loop back, so you can actually use this with backing tracks and kind of monitor that, and also charge your phone while you're using it. This is why I have the iRig Stream. I think this is around $60 or something, but you can always find deals around with that. That's number 2. Number 3, a backup audio interface. Yeah, I know, audio interface again, you already have an audio interface, but anything can happen. There could be a firmware upgrade, there could be something, and I've had scenarios where my major audio interface, which is an MT48 Neumann, it's almost $2,000. I've had scenarios where for some reason my laptop just would not connect. I think that's only happened once, and I just quickly connected this and recorded and then figured it out, and then later I discovered it was something with my cabling and all that stuff. So you just never know. I didn't have that time to start going towards the back and start figuring out what disconnect or what, but I have terrible cable management over there in my studio before. Now it's good, but I used to have terrible cable management, but that can happen. And again, when you're traveling or you're going anywhere, you want to travel, or you have a gig somewhere, or you're going out of state, or you're traveling, or anything of that nature, you don't want to disconnect your main audio interface, because you're going to have to come back and reconnect, and you're just leaving point for accident or just anything to happen at that point. So I will travel with this guy, and instead of taking my major audio interface, I will just use this as a backup and a traveling audio interface. So that's another good thing that has been extremely useful to me. Now, some of the things I'm going to talk to you guys about are actually cannot show you on this video because I'm actively using them. Another thing is a hum isolator or a sound isolator thing. I will put a picture here. What this does is it takes away the hum from your amp. So if you have physical amp like myself and you want to record and you hearing some noise, this can actually help you tame that song, not totally eliminate it, but at least clean up your audio signal a little bit. I've had noisy amplifiers here. My Deluxe Reverb, for example, is an extremely noisy Hot Rod Deluxe 3 that I had. It gets really noisy sometimes, and plugging this into the wall and then plugging the amp in has kind of helped. So that's another thing that might really help. And the fourth one's actually a group of things. There are just adapters and dongles. Now, if you have old devices that you just will not let go, you know what? Just before I go into that, the next one, let's do this. This is a sampler or pad or whatever you want to call it, but it's extremely useful for when I want to travel, one. Two, when I quickly make beats, like some of you guys ask, oh, how did I make backing tracks for my songs? This can easily help you play drums better or record drums better. I'm not one of those people that like to use samples a lot, but I've been trying to get into samples and just downloading samples and just messing around with samples, and it's really fun. And you could actually get new ideas from this, just sampling either drums or keyboard sounds or synth sounds, putting it on here. I'm not a great keyboard player myself, so it's really hard for me to but this is just easy. Like, this is stupid proof for people like myself. You can easily play drums on these, and they're extremely inexpensive. I mean, you could go crazy and go buy the $1,000 ones, but this is around $150. I've had these for over 10 years and it's still working. And if you notice, it takes me to my fifth item on it. It has the old printer USB cable, which takes me back to adapters like this to USB-C. Right now, I just go on Amazon and see any cable that connects, that has a USB-C adapter, and I just buy them. Because you have gears, you don't want to throw them away. Plug this in, and then you have a USB-C adapter right here. So that's something that could really be helpful for you over time. So you want to collect all these cables and all these adapters. They're extremely cheap. I believe I got 2 of these for like $4 or $5 on Amazon, and they will save the day. I also have a MIDI keyboard here that still has the old printer cable. So just plugging these at the back of it just gives you one less thing to worry about when it comes to cables. So you can literally just use any USB-C cable and it becomes compatible with the newer stuff. This is a little bit on the pricey side, but the value that you're gonna get from this overpowers or overshadows the price, and that's a reamp box. When you record directly from an amp at home, especially when you're doing session work, you want to have that feel safe of having the direct line when you're recording. If you notice, my voice kind of changed when it gets to this, because this is extremely important. It's a disaster for you to record a session for an artist or a producer, and then a couple of weeks later they ask you, hey, can I get a dry signal? It's hard if you just record straight from your pedal board to your DAW and then you don't have a dry signal, and it just makes everything terrible. You can reamp afterwards. You can just send it to the producer. There's a lot that you can do with that raw track that has not been amped. Something might just be wrong with your amp while you're recording, and it could just be a noisy amp. It could be a setting that you wish was better. You could just feel like this tone might sound better with a different cab, with a different amp, and recording an extra DI channel will actually give you a whole lot of options when it comes to reamping in the future, or just tweaking around your sound. And especially when you're working with like big record labels, or you're working with big producers and all that, they're always going to ask you for a DI channel. So I'm using this Tonex capture card. as a reamp box and also a capture card. So it's like you get 2 in 1. I think I paid less than $200 for this on eBay. So you can go online and just search for deals. I think this retails for like over 200 and something, 240 US. I'm not sure. I'll put the actual price here when I'm done. But you can get used one a little bit for some deal. You can also use other, I know Walrus has a reamp box. There are also other companies that make reamp boxes, but the Walrus one is actually really cool. I love Walrus. I have all, canvas stuff. My DI boxes and my LI line isolators are all canvas stuff. So I'll love to try that out. Maybe they'll send me one. But I've been using this Tonex Capture as my reamp box, and it's been a bliss, and it has saved me a whole lot of time. There was a time I recorded a particular track with my Fender Princeton here, and for some reason I just kind of felt like when I was monitoring the treble or the high frequency was just normal, but after recording it just kind of sounded a little fizzy, and I could go back and kind of EQ it down a little bit, but that takes away a lot of stuff. It sounds unnatural. So I just like, hey, I have a DI, and I just reamped and set the tone to how I wanted it, and I could monitor it properly this time around. Send it back from my DAW, send it back into the amp, record it through the microphone back into the amp. That just unlocks a whole new level of workflow that will be very beneficial if you ever need it. And the last thing on my list is a mixer or an headphone amp. I'm actually using one here. This is Bolanle PH400. What this does is it splits your audio out into multiple channels. Right now, the audio you're hearing is coming straight from my mixer, going straight into my camera. Zero post-production whatsoever. I'm able to do that and monitor at the same time on my headphone, just because I have the headphone amp here, so I can send this audio to you guys on my camera and still have another port to actually you can see it has 4 different outputs, and the most amazing thing about it has the 1/4 inch and 3.5 millimeters, so you don't have to start looking for adapter. I think this is less than $40, about $30 something, and it can make a whole lot of sense when you have multiple people in your studio and you just want to send headphone out to multiple people. I have drummers come here to the studio to record, and this has been nothing but a bliss. I can have the drummer and someone else and the bass player play at the same time. I just send their audio from my audio interface in here, and they can hear themselves clearly. It's inexpensive, and it does the job, and it does it well. That concludes all these things that I that actually makes my work easier in my studio. If you like this series, let me know in the comment section. If you have anything in your studio that's unconventional but then makes your workflow better, let me know in the comment section as well. My name is Dami, and I will also list all these items, as many of them that I can find, in the description. Keep listening to good music, keep making good music, and don't stop being creative. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.